11 at your hometown station. The following program is a paid program, and the opinions and whatnot are expressed are true those of Horicon Marsh Talk, not WBEV or dailydodge.com. Boy, you guys, I really messed that up. I'm going to send it to you. Justin Wilski.
Thanks, Jeff. It's morning, and for you, the insomnia guy, it's late, early, one of those two. I am Justin the Ninja Wilski here for Marsh Talk on Taking Care of Business with Rich Apple, and I believe on the phone we should have Josh Moss. Is that correct? Josh, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. Perfect. I want to welcome you both to the show. Of course, it's your show, so that makes it really simple to welcome you too. Let's start with, for anybody who's new to the show or is now tuning in to Daily Dodge TV and saying, who is that guy sitting next to Ninja, who is obviously much more ruggedly handsome than he is? It's the facial hair, I'm sure. Introduce you guys yourselves. Talk a little bit about what Marsh Talk is all about.
Sure. The Marsh Talk is Josh and I kind of had a discussion about how can we talk about all the great things that are happening in Horicon, and there's so many. Promote the city of Horicon, the school district of Horicon, and all the happenings that are going on there, so that we believe that it's a growing little small town. It's a great place to be, and too many times all we focus on is the negative. So we wanted to have a segment where we could just really promote and talk about all the great things that are happening. And so we reached out and got some sponsorship. The Marshman Foundation there that we've started up that's supporting, it's our educational foundation that is supporting all that's going on in our schools through donations and grants and scholarships. They said we want to promote this, so they supported us. And then the Marsh Area Chamber of Commerce, it's a joint effort. Next month, I'm going to be having somebody come on and talk about that. It's a joint effort between our two Chamber of Commerces that we have joined forces now to work together. Mayville and Horicon are bitter rivals on many, many things, but we work well together to promote the Marsh area. And so they'll be here next month to kind of promote that. And they were also a sponsor of our program. And then we split it between the city and the school district to also sponsor us. So really appreciate all those folks that are helping us do this. But our whole effort is to keep people informed, but also to promote all the goodness that's happening in Horicon.
And I can understand that. I think there are plenty of times where people say, well, Horicon, that's where the Marsh is. And that's all we think about is the Marsh. But there's a lot more going on there in Horicon than people like to think sometimes.
Most definitely. And Josh can talk more about all the things that are developing within the city, within the school district. There's an awful lot going on as well. So, it's a great time to be able to come on and talk about what's happening.
Well, Josh, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about what is bringing you on to Marsh Talk today?
Well, I'm kind of just going to echo what Rich said. I mean, we're here together for a reason. I mean, we both love Horicon. We both think it's a growing, thriving, small community, and honestly, we kind of want to brag about it. I think one of the things that we're trying to do with this radio show, at least at the city level, is to get and keep those people informed that might not necessarily follow Facebook or read the newspaper, but they're always listening. They have your radio station on in the background at all times. So we're just trying to give other folks a chance to, hear directly from us and let them know what's going on.
Well, I'm perfectly happy with all of that. I think it's a great idea to let people know what's going on, and great platform for it, I'd like to think. I'm a little biased because I work here. But I know you guys kind of like to divide this up into two segments. Like talk a little bit about what's going on with the city, and like talk a little bit about what's going on with the school district. And Rich, while we've got you sitting here, school district is something we want to talk about, but I think we're going to start off with the city. Start on the big and narrow it down. What do you think?
That's fine by me. Josh, we can do that.
Yeah, we could do that.
Perfect. Well, Josh, why don't you go ahead and let me know what's going on in the city of Horicon?
Okay, there were three things I wanted to touch on today. The first thing I wanted to talk about is our 13th annual HorrorCon Living History Days. It's going to be taking place at River Bend, which is our large park on the south side of town, May 10th, May 11th, and May 12th. And May 10th is actually a school day, so that's set aside for all the area schools and homeschool families to bring their kids to these unique hands-on learning opportunities. These are designed specifically for the younger people and try to get them have a lifelong interest in learning about the past. So that's one thing, and I just wanted to be able to talk just a little bit about what's going to be going on at HorrorCon Historical Days. So they're going to have canvas tents and campfires and guns and cannons and tomahawks, swords. They're even going to be shooting these guns and cannon fires so you can see what it's like to shoot a cannon. And this year, again, they're going to have horses, dogs, other animals. So that's going to be neat. There's going to be demonstrations like tomahawk throwing and pie baking, the old way to make pies, flint and steel fire starting, throwing frying pans, battle reenactments, skirmishes. And on their Facebook page, on the HorrorCon Historical Society Facebook page, you'll be able to see like the calendar of events. Another thing that they have on Saturday is a pie baking contest, and this year it's going to be rhubarb. And I'm lucky enough to be one of the judges for eating pies. And if anyone knows me in person, I don't think anybody can eat more than me. And I look forward to crushing as much rhubarb pie as I can. And for people to show up and come, it's like $5 for ages 12 and up, $2 for 6 to 11, kids under 5 free. And once you get there at the park, the members of DCERT, which is the Dodge County Emergency Response Team, they kind of direct you around the park and show you where to park. The other things I wanted to let folks know is that the boat landing that is there at River Bend will still be accessible to the public. DCERT will help you get to the boat landing. And HorrorCon has a brand new dog park, which was donated by the HorrorCon Lions. It's at the same park where this is going to be going on. So citizens of HorrorCon that wish to continue to use the dog park during the historical days can continue to use it. You just have to let DCERT know, hey, you're going down to use the dog park. Just keep in mind there will be a lot of loud noises taking place. You know, some dogs get a little nervous with fireworks and noises, so it may not be the best weekend for the dog park. And just in general with the HorrorCon Historical Society using the park on that weekend, some of the things there that people usually use at the park will be a little bit limited, like the Frisbee golf course and stuff. And then the last thing that we wanted to let folks know is that it's Mother's Day weekend. So the first 24 moms and grandmas that show up to the event and they are accompanied by their children will receive a gift bag from the HorrorCon Historical Society. And anyone that has more questions on the event can contact our HorrorCon Historical Society curator, who's Lonnie Nye. Probably the best way to contact her is through the HorrorCon Historical Society page on Facebook. So that's one thing we're pretty excited about here in town.
I can imagine you would be, and great advice about having the dog park is great. You hope for good weather for stuff like this, and people want to get their dogs out. But if fireworks freak out your dog, I imagine cannon fire's really going to do it.
Yeah, it might shake them up a little bit. And then we do have a couple other things I wanted to discuss. Our HorrorCon Fire Department, wonderful fire department. We're absolutely lucky to have them. On April 27th, so not this Saturday, but the following Saturday, they're going to be having their annual Trap Shoot fundraiser, and it's out at the HorrorCon Rod and Gun Club out on Prospect Road. It's going to have, not only go out there and shoot some trap, but they have food and drinks and 50-50 raffles, gun raffles. And being a largely volunteer fire department, those folks definitely depend on community support, to outfit their bell club and a lot of other stuff that happens at the fire department. So I'm asking the folks at HorrorCon and surrounding communities, because HorrorCon Fire Department responds all over the place. They have auto aid with Burnett, Juneau, but they're out helping all over the county. That, think of them on Saturday morning, April 27th, and get out there and support our fire department.
Awesome. That's a wonderful cause. We cannot thank our fire departments for all the hard work that they do enough. putting their lives on the line and being there for us, especially with now high fire danger apparently happening. Even with all the rain we got, it's still a good idea to be controlled with those burns and know that those people are out there. If you do screw up, hopefully you don't.
Absolutely. And if I got a minute left, I just wanted, I know last night was our reorg meeting for our city after our elections, which were held on April 2nd. And, just to let everyone know, I didn't really, we only have one new alder person. It's Lisa Sullivan in District 1. So congratulations to Lisa. And our council is now half men, half women. So it represents the population of Horicon like it should. We're about 50-50. We have, aldermen that age from the mid-20s to their mid-70s. So we have a really solid council now that represents, both genders, all different ages, and it really is more representative of our population, which is really neat. The only things that I really see any different from our reorg meeting, again, is Lisa's now D1, and if you live in D1 in Horicon means you live on the west side of town. So anywhere west of Highway 33, basically, then you're in District 1. And other than that, we're going to be operating as normal, and we're pretty excited about that. The last little thing, I just remembered that if weather complies and ground dries up a little bit, we should be putting in the new playground at Bowling Green Park either tomorrow or Friday.
Wow, that's a lot of information. New playgrounds. We got the historical days coming up. One thing I do want to ask for you to remind people of, because I always think it's good for the public to take part in civil government when they can, their local government when they can. If public is, I'm sure, welcome to attend city council meetings and such, when are those held?
We post them online. So, like, our main council meeting is the fourth Tuesday of every month at 6 o'clock at City Hall. And there's council meetings or committee meetings all throughout the month. They're posted. We have one of our alder people, who's Marie Fensky. Every Monday she goes on the Horicon version of the gossip pages and puts our weekly schedule out. So I think most people in town are getting our information on when meetings will be held, and we get a lot of the requests from people behind the scenes. Our Tuesday main council meetings are also streamed on YouTube.
There you go. Well, Josh Moss, I want to thank you for taking the time to call in. Was there anything else you wanted to touch on before we let you get back to the important task of running things there in Horicon?
Hey, I'm going to still stick around on the line in case there's any value added I can give to Rich, but I probably will mute for right now.
All right. Well, I guess we're going to turn things over now to Rich Apple, superintendent of the Horicon School District. We've reached kind of an interesting time of year for the school year. You and I kind of touched on it a tiny bit, but things are really winding down now.
Yeah, it is. We're down to 5 weeks, and our seniors are counting the days.
I bet.
If you think back when you were a 12th grader and you are all anxious and can't wait to be done and get out into the real world, so to speak. They're all excited about doing so, but before that's done, we have a lot of different things that are going to happen for them. We start up in another week here. I always do senior interviews. One of my favorite things I do with as my job as a superintendent is I have every senior come in and I interview them at the end of the year, their last year. And I ask them some questions. Ask them, give me your experience here at Horicon. When did you start here? Some of them say they started in kindergarten. Some came in as a senior. So they're all different experiences. And then I ask them, what's something that's been really good that you will always take and remember? And I always ask them then, what would you do if you were in my chair? What would you fix? What would you change? And I get some incredible insight from kids. I give them my card and say, I'll be a reference for you, and shake hands, and they go out the door. Some of those kids are so excited about being done, and others are scared. They're a little bit nervous. And so it's a great conversation that I get to have. So that's still coming with the seniors that we're going to be doing. We have scholarship nights. We have awards nights. We have some concerts coming up, a big end-of-the-year art show coming up. We do we started this a few years ago. Mrs. Graven, the high school principal, coordinates with our cities and our communities around the area with Iron Ridge, Burnett, and Horicon, and we work with the cities, and we go and clean up their parks. Juniors and seniors we take out on a community service project. We do this also in the fall, where we'll do some raking of leaves and some things too, because I think it's really important that kids today learn the value of giving back, and some of them aren't too afraid to get out of class for a half a day to go do that.
Of course not.
So it's kind of a win-win for them, but they also learn and do a good deed for others. So we'll be going out to Iron Ridge. We're supposed to be going tomorrow. We have pre-ACT tests going on tomorrow for our sophomores, and we were going to be taking the juniors and seniors, but because of the forecast, we don't want to take them out in the rain. So we are going to wait and look for a better day. We'll take them out in the morning, come back and have a little burger and brat cookout, and so a little reward for them. So that's coming up as well for them. So they're, even though they've only got a few weeks left for those seniors, we pack it in with some fun, meaningful, and hopefully days that they remember. So
Well, definitely good you're not taking them out in the rain. I've heard a rumor that seniors melt in the rain, so you got to be careful.
They certainly complain a lot. They will let me know if they're not comfortable, but that's okay.
Now, I have a question for you, kind of related to what you were talking about, because seniors right now, of course, their eyes are on graduation.
Yeah.
It's coming up. And I've had the joy of being able to come out and video a couple of the graduations there at Horicon, and it seems like one of the highlights that people love is you always give a little speech.
Yep.
And I've heard praise about that speech before I even started, and I've got to witness a couple of them. Very inspiring. You do a good job.
Thank you.
Have you already started writing your speech for this year?
I have notes. Down. I have the theme kind of ready to go, but I have not started writing it yet. It's one of those things that over the time that those kids are there, in a small school, I've got 800 some kids, K through 12, and I'm fortunate in my position as a superintendent that I get to know the majority of those kids in some capacity, and by the time they're seniors, I get to know them even better. And after doing an interview with them and talking to them a little bit more and seeing them perform on the stage or on the field in athletics or FBLA and their whatever activities they're in,
Right.
I get a little closer to them. So it's kind of I enjoy having that moment just to connect. And I always tell them, I said, this is your last chance that you're going to hear from Mr. Apple and how I'm giving you my worldly advice on as you leave the gates of Horicon High School. So it's kind of fun. It's nothing too, you may say it's inspirational. I don't know if the kids could, the only thing that they can remember that I talk about, and I've said it since I did the graduation speech for my son in 2015 in Chilton, was get off your phones. I think kids are on their phones too much. But then whenever they see me on my phone, they throw it right back at me. Like, get off your phone and talk to people.
It proves they're listening.
That's right, yeah.
Wonderful.
So, and our commencement day is May 18th. It's a Saturday, 1 o'clock at Sword Field at our athletic complex, which you've been able to see that. That's a beautiful place.
Field, yeah.
We had it there for the first time last year, and if weather comes up and it's bad and we have to move it inside, we'll go back into the gym like we've traditionally done it in our high school gym. But it's a beautiful setting there to be able to have it outdoors and have our seniors recognized in their final walk to get their diploma.
Yeah, and plenty of space there at the field, and I think we'll be talking about that a little bit more as the show goes on. But a beautiful, beautiful space for that.
It is. Yeah, we're really blessed to have that, and that was a community effort to bring that together. We didn't go to referendum to make it happen. We had some incredible donors who stepped forward, and Fred Shortfigure and his family and the bank, and with their lead donation of over $1 million. Other folks who came forward, even I had kids who would come forward and give $10. They just wanted to be a part of it. And so it really was a community effort to raise $4 million to make that happen. So really proud of that. It's probably one of the coolest things that I think we have going there. We have a lot of events coming up on to perform and compete on that site, but we use it daily in Phi Ed. We use it daily for classes to go out there. So it's definitely a beautiful spot for us.
Absolutely, absolutely. I do want to take a moment to remind everybody this is a paid program. Advice and opinions expressed during the program are solely that of the City of Horicon and the Horicon School District, not WBEV or Good Karma Brands. So, Rich, obviously, you said there's still a lot going on in the school year. There's still a lot to talk about. You know, the year's not over yet.
No.
So, what else is on the docket? What else we got going on?
Well, we have a lot of our spring concerts coming up. I kind of mentioned that with our high school, middle school band choirs. We have an art show that's going to go on with that one. A lot of our spring sports are in the hopper right now. So we're very fortunate to have some skilled athletes that are competing right now. We really are going to be vying for the title of 3 conference championships this spring.
Okay.
I think our baseball, our softball teams are going to compete for that title, and so is our track team. We have 60-some, almost 70 kids out for high school track, and we won the indoor site in Oshkosh. We had, I believe, 12 that competed for this indoor state down at Whitewater already. They're exceptionally talented kids that are competing both, in our field events as well as sprinters and long distance. So a lot of exciting things happening there. Our baseball, softball teams have always been competitive, but they really have some fine teams that are really going to compete for the titles there. There's just a lot of things happening. One thing that we have special going on tonight that I think is going to be a very unique opportunity for our kids and our families. Several years ago, probably 10 years ago, I had the opportunity to go on a mission trip with Life Touch down to Dominican Republic.
Okay.
And we built a school. We worked on building with a school, and it was a group of educators and photographers from Life Touch. And so it was such an incredible event to go down there and be a part of. Each segment that goes down there builds a little bit more to the school. And it was amazing to be able to go there, see the culture, connect with people, and see how much they appreciated just anyone coming and helping them out in this small little town or city of Constanza in Dominican Republic. So I kind of wanted to get something like that experience for our kids. It's life-changing, in my opinion. And so we are looking to offer a trip to Guatemala for our current freshmen, sophomores, and juniors could apply to go. And they will be taking them down to Guatemala it's called Hug It Forward is the group. And they take water bottles like this, and they fill them full of garbage. The kids and people of the community do. And so it's serving in 2 different ways. It's recycling for them. But then they take them, and that's the basis of the wall, to structure of a wall. They wire those to chicken wire and frame them up, and then they put plaster around those, and they build schoolrooms that way. So it's been going on for years. I was connected to them through an acquaintance that has done this before and said it's just an amazing week to be able to go down there. You get to go to some Mayan ruins. You get to be with the community members. They do a presentation on their history, and then you get to be a part of building a school for them and then reflect on that. And I think, so tonight at 6 o'clock at the school, we are having a informational meeting for parents and kids to be able to come in and hear about it some more, to see if this is something they want to go on in it'll be June of 2025. Be a 5-day trip down to Guatemala. We'll fly out of Chicago, and I think it's just going to be a wonderful experience, and hopefully to get that going. So every 3 years, kids, it could kind of become a tradition of such, so that kids could get that feeling of helping others, and not just here, but abroad.
That's awesome. And those little service projects, I think, really go a long way to helping kind of mature people up a little bit, give them some insight into stuff that they may not have normal insight into.
Exactly. When you have been, and we're so blessed. We're really blessed here in Horicon, but in Wisconsin, in the United States. So we're really fortunate to have all the gifts that we have here, and to be able to work in a facility in a school district, like in a community like Horicon, and then to be able to know how blessed you are to be able to go and help others. And you may see that their experience is not the same. When they're having to use plastic bottles to build their schools, you do come back a little bit changed, going pretty fortunate.
Yeah, because I mean, the school district there, the school in Horicon, is a fairly new building by most school standards, right? That's how old is it now?
We moved in 2020.
Okay, so less than 5 years
Yeah,
old.
yeah.
For those who saw it constructed and going up, they know that it was definitely not built with water bottles filled with garbage.
No. C.D. Smith did a great job.
Yeah, a lot of quality materials go into that. But yeah, it definitely gives you an appreciation for what you got.
It is.
That's awesome. And you said that's tonight, that meeting, the info
Tonight at
meeting.
6 o'clock, yep. And
6 p.m.
in the boardroom by the district office, yep.
All right. What else do we got going on?
There's a lot of special days that are coming up here, and boy, I'd be in some serious trouble if I don't recognize these ladies.
Okay, what do you got?
On April 24th is Administrative Professionals Day. That's our folks that are manning the offices. These ladies here from our elementary, high school, and district office ladies and secretaries and folks that are in there doing all the heavy lifting for the district, they keep the buildings running.
Mm-hmm.
When we don't have subs, when we need schedules changed, when these ladies are absolutely amazing. So on the 24th, they're being recognized for their day. And so if anybody's out there that just wants to show their appreciation, they take the phone calls. Mm-hmm. They take the frustrated phone calls. They don't always get the happy phone calls. They deal with the kids that are coming down that are sick. They deal with the folks that are teachers coming in to need copies or need a schedule change. There's just so many things that go into having to run inside of a district office or a school office. Mm-hmm. So to our folks that are out there, it's a special day on the 24th, and we'll be recognizing them. Then you go around on the next week, and it's May 1st.
Hey, Rich,
and it's
Rich.
Yeah.
Can I just second that for our 4 ladies downtown? I mean, I can't imagine any, 4 administrative professionals that probably get more unfriendly, often phone calls than ours downtown. So I just want to thank our 4 ladies at City Hall for the stuff they do for the city as well on Administrative Professional Day. That's all I got.
Yeah, exactly. They're amazing down there too. They're always so kind and very kind when I bring my tax check in. So that's good. May 1st is our school principals recognition day, and like so many schools, we have amazing principals who look out for our kids, try to keep strong curriculum going, keep discipline going, have fun, make it a fun environment so kids want to participate. We have over 90% of our kids in our middle school and high school participating in some extra activity.
Oh, wow.
So when you have kids that are involved in just one thing, research will show that they're going to have a better experience at school. So from our elementary with Cynthia and Lisa, in middle school, Mike LeBoten, and high school, Teresa Graven, and then we've got Katie Schwartz, who is our district director of learning and special ed. These folks do an amazing job. Not always a job that I think they get the thank you phone calls, but they do a masterful job being able to communicate and make the place for our schools the best places for kids. So they're our strongest advocates for kids, and I just want to recognize them on May 1st. May 3rd is the ladies who keep us going well down in our lunchroom.
My favorite ladies when I was in school.
There you go. Kim Wake and the ladies down in our food service department. We have kids who actually will take pictures of their school lunch and post them on their social media because they're so good.
Wow.
You don't get that too many places,
No,
right?
you don't.
So our participation of kids that eat our hot lunches is as high as I've ever seen it in my 36 years of school. So they provide such amazing lunches, unique lunches too, not just the old mashed potatoes that came from a box. These are really homemade meals. So recognizing them on the 3rd. Teacher Appreciation Week. Who's the heaviest lifters in our schools? Our teachers. So Teacher Appreciation Week is May 6th to the 10th. Just so fortunate to be working with such amazing colleagues that put kids first and work so very, very hard to make a difference for our kids. And we're truly blessed not only in Horicon, but in Wisconsin, just for having the best teachers around.
Now, I'm going to pause you there for a moment. How are the staffing levels right now at Horicon?
We're pretty blessed right now. I've not had a major turnover. We are short. I'm looking for a couple of teachers out there right now. I need a high school physical education teacher, and I need a special education teacher, and I need a technology director. So if anybody's interested, give them a call. Give me a call. It's on We Can, and it's out there. But so far, our staffing levels have not rotated too bad. And that's probably a good thing, because our teacher pool out there, where I used to get 100+ applicants for let's say a third grade teaching position, I'll get 6 to 10.
Oh, wow.
So I used to get 100+ applicants, 6 to 10 now. There's just not as many going into the field, and that's scary to me. So hopefully that new generation's going to come back out and start filling these roles, because folks like me are going to get to the age where they're going to retire, and we need strong educators to come back in and fill that in. But for us, it's still hard to find, but we've been able to just bring in some top-notch teachers when we've had openings, but there's just not as many applying for them.
Awesome. Glad to hear it.
Yeah. May 8th is School Nurse Day. Nurse Tasha is just fantastic for us here. And May 8th, we're going to recognize her. She really did a heavy lift for us during COVID and got us through that. But now she's just does a fantastic job relating with kids and connecting with them. And then on the 18th, we have our speech pathologist, our speech teacher days. And we've got a couple of the finest there, too. So John Kauth is going to be retiring after this year. I think he's been in education over 40 years.
Oh, wow.
So, I just want to say thank you to him and Courtney, and they do just a wonderful job for us there as well. So those are some recognition days that are coming up that, it takes so many great people to make our schools work, and those are some of the finest. Then some other special days. We've got our Horicon Got Talent this weekend. Friday and Saturday. You might want to compete in this. Friday and Saturday night, if you've got talent, you can sign up to come and perform on Friday night and Saturday night in our high school gym. Cody Farron, our band guy, puts this on, and we've got kids that sign up, staff that sign up. Should be amazing talent there. So,
now, does it have to be musical talent? Do I have to sing?
No, you could be a magician. You could dance.
I'm well known for my dance moves.
Yeah, I've heard that. So on the 3rd, we have our elementary fun run, which is our fundraiser for the elementary, where people support kids to be able to run laps. And then those donations come in for some special programming. Senior Awards Night is on the 8th. Marshman Community Coffee. I do this every other month, 4 times a year, that we have people can come in to the boardroom at 8:30 on May 9th. I give them an update on the district, what's going on, kind of answer any questions that they might have. We have some pastries and some coffee, and then I have some students perform for them, or do a demonstration, or talk about a presentation on their program for them. Our PTO, we have an amazing parent-teacher organization that they're having a carnival on the Friday night, the 17th. Our last day of school is on the 24th, and summer school starts on June 3rd. So in the next 6 weeks, we got a lot going on.
That is crazy. You would think that being that we're hitting the end of the year, you'd want to have less stuff on the docket, but it looks like you guys have found a way to fill it up.
We're checking them off, but yeah, it'll get done. Promise you that it'll get done.
Now I see some notes on here. Of course, we talked about spring sports a little bit. You talked about this baseball team, softball team, track and field going on. You guys have golf happening as well. I'm seeing a note out here: trap shooters. Just insane.
Yeah. I almost forgot our golf team. So when I talk about our conference championships possibilities for those, our golf team is going to compete as well. Our team has really improved so much in the last 3 years. So really impressive by them. And we have a trap shooting team that we combine and co-op with another school, Dodgeland. And those kids we use the Horicon Gun Club. They'll go out there, they compete around other trap shooting organizations. Right. and we got some straight shooters out there. They're good.
I like that.
So this weekend, I believe, is when they have their big invite that's going to be taking place.
Now, I see a note here about the FBLA just getting back from Green Bay. I'm
Yep.
assuming that was state in
That
Green
was the
Bay?
state competition up there. They did great. Didn't get anybody to go to nationals this year. In the past, the last 2 years, we've had a team that some kids that have qualified to go to nationals, but we didn't this year. But they're a young group, and they'll be back.
Wonderful. And I see some notes on here about solo ensemble and forensics.
Yeah, we have kids that have every year make it to state in those two areas. You know, one of the biggest skills, I think, is to be able to get up and talk in front of people. And if you can get up and talk in front of people or sing in front of people, the confidence that gives you, and if you can learn that at an early age through state WSMA or forensics, whatever you end up doing, you gain that skill to be able to be a speaker or to get up in front of people to do that. That's one of the biggest fears that people have, to be able to speak in public. And if you can do this and get up and even sing a solo, wow, you've got some confidence. So
Well, I can-
kudos to those kids to go do that.
Definitely say from my own personal experience, while I still have the most horrific stage fright when I have to get up in front of people, it's from being in forensics myself and doing choir and having to do some solos and that have led to me to be able to overcome that and do what I'm doing now, like talk to you on the radio and not think about the potentially, tens of 20s of people listening to me right now.
Tens of 20s.
Tens of 20s, yes.
Yes.
I see we talked a little bit about the citywide service project that was going to be tomorrow, but that's going to have to be delayed. I'm seeing another service project listed here on the schedule.
Yeah, we work with the Lions Club. Our Lions Club in town, they just got done doing the dog park. They do amazing things for our community and always looking out what's best for that. When we partner with them and we have our track team, I drive a school bus too. I got my bus driver's license. So I'm driving for the community service, but then I also drive the kids out there to clean up the road that's next to the landfill. So we do a cleanup day out there, and we'll be doing that May 11th, or May 13th, excuse me.
May 13th, okay.
May 13th. And so we'll take our track team out there. They'll go up and down the road for about an hour and a half, picking up garbage for the landfill. And again, I think it's something good. Our community does a lot for our kids by supporting our schools, and I believe strongly that our kids need to do something back for the community and instill in them that skill set to be able to do that. So we really push for that, and our kids' track team will be going out there to do that.
I know I've seen experience with myself and having my kids do stuff like this, where then if they go down that stretch of road later and they see some garbage, they take it very personal.
Yeah.
Like I spent time out there cleaning that.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, love that. What else do we got going on?
We took a group of kids. We worked with the Dodge County Manufacturer Business Alliance, Nate Olson, and from the county, and have been working with them closely to try and get our students opportunities in a work-related field that they want to go into. Not all of our kids are focused on going to college, so we work very closely with the MBA and youth apprenticeship programs, and so we took them out to 3 different businesses last week, toured those businesses, 2 in Beaver Dam and 1 in Horicon, and the manufacturers did a great job of explaining to the kids, these are opportunities for you to work here, make a good wage, a good career, and it's real close to home. So we took them out there to do that. I think so many things in Dodge County that we're fortunate to have that kids don't have to go to another location to find another job that's going to pay them pretty decently and give them decent benefits, and they don't have to leave too far. So,
There you go.
Yep.
There you go. And it's been my experience that not everybody wants that post-secondary education experience. It may not fit for everybody, and it's good to know there are options for everyone.
And with Moraine Park and other tech programs around here, I mean, the Moraine Park is a great partner of ours, either through students going into some programs through there or post-school programs with them, to be able to learn a trade or a skill set, to be able to go right into the workforce has been fantastic.
Wonderful. What else we got going on? I see a note here about summer school. That's a scary word for some
Yeah.
people.
Well, summer school's fun. Summer school is not like you might picture it. We do have some academic courses, course recovery classes, but for the most part, we have cooking classes.
Oh.
We have drills and skills classes where our high school teams come and work with youth to be able to teach them the skills of the sports.
Okay.
In the afternoon, we have
Growing that future football team and baseball.
a feeder program, you know. So those kind of things are really fun for our kids. Those games and skills. There's a fishing class. They go down to the river to fish. So those are some fun summer activities that teachers give them their kind of lifetime skills to be able to learn, to be able to take on. So it's just not all academics. We do sign language classes, your non-traditional kinds of classes. And then we also have your traditional core-related classes.
Cool. Sign language classes, awesome. On video, you'll understand that, I like that a lot. I have a sister who's deaf, so
Good.
that
Okay,
that
so
helps.
so ASL is second nature for you.
ASL, yeah. Known it
so
since
we
I was
bring,
very young.
We bring our kids in, and we have a teacher who teaches that, and that's fantastic.
That's awesome.
Great skill
I
to
love it.
have.
I will agree. I actually was able to test out a foreign language in my high school because of it. So
Oh, perfect.
I appreciated that quite a bit. What else we got going on? Anything else?
Well, I'm also on the board for the Chamber of Commerce, the Marsh Area Chamber of Commerce,
Okay.
who is also helping sponsor this. We've joined efforts, and next month I'm going to have some members from the chamber come with us here, and we joined forces with Mayville, like I said, and really work together to do a Marsh Area Chamber of Commerce so that between the two communities we can best support each other, because it just seems like we don't get as many people to volunteer anymore. Service organizations are not as robust as they used to be. So we're trying to get more people to be involved, but we've joined forces to kind of conserve the energy a little bit, so not the same people are doing everything. But we have a big event coming up on June 1st, and we're going to talk about it a lot more in May. But this is Run for Heroes. It's a 5K run walk, and it's all proceeds are going to go to the American Legion of Horicon and Mayville. And last year was our first inaugural one. We had them run from Mayville up to the Marsh Center. This year it's going to be in Mayville. In the whole route is in Mayville by the golf course.
Okay.
There's a band that will be playing. It's going to be a really fun day. Great activities for our kids. But we'll be talking to you more about that in May. But anybody who would like to know more about that can go to the Chamber of Commerce websites, Facebook pages. There's registration information there to be able to sign up. We need runners, we need walkers to make a 5K work. So hopefully that'll get some more people signed up for that.
Wonderful. Now, I would be amiss if I didn't take the time to at least circle back to something we talked a little bit about, because you mentioned community and what the community was able to drive and do. And you sent some great pictures through that I want to be able to share with people on video and talk a little bit about. And why don't you go ahead and tell people what I'm looking at right now?
That's such a great picture. A drone picture of our athletic complex here with our athletic turf field. You see obviously the Marshman and the Horicon end zones, the gigantic Marshman in the middle. We are the only school only mascot called Marshman in the entire world.
Really?
There's a lot of cardinals. There's probably a few beavers out there, but there's only one Marshman, and it's in Horicon. So to have that one Marshman right there in the middle, that's just a beautiful sight. And we're going to be hosting sectional track coming up here for the second year in a row that we have all of the schools come in. We'll have close to 2,500, 3,000 people that come into that. It's such a great showcase of our facilities. We handled it so well last year. Our field events, parking, they do have to go on the side streets there, but I think anytime you have that many people come, you're going to need to be a little patient. We have DCERT come in and help us park. The city comes in. Josh was there parking cars last year. He's really masterful at that. And so it's just a great community event that this facility has given us. We had playoff games there. We had 3 playoff games there last year in football. Track meets. We got a big track meet. The Dodge County Invite is this Friday night. So we're hosting that. So schools in the Dodge County are coming to that one. I think it's going to be fantastic. So looking forward to hosting more events there, but we're really proud of this facility.
Well, I'm a big fan of the fact that you guys were nice enough to put the press box right where I could just park and walk about 20 feet to get there.
Yeah.
So I thank you, and I think Mike Tronson probably thanks you for that as well.
Glad to oblige.
Unfortunately, we've reached the point of time where we've hit the end of our show. So as much as I'd like to think that we could keep talking and go on and on for hours, and people know I'm able to do so, we unfortunately do have to wrap it up. But we will see you back next month.
Yes.
There is still a little more school year left, so there's a little more to talk about. And so we want to remind people to keep your eye on the calendar for next month's Marsh Talk here on Taking Care of Business. And do we know the date for that yet?
The next one would be the third Wednesday, be May 15th, I believe, is when we'll do the next Marsh Talk.
All right, so stay tuned for that. The proceeding was a paid program. Advice and opinions expressed during the program are that solely of the City of Horicon and the Horicon School District, not WBEV or Good Karma Brands.